The industrial punk group Atari Teenage Riot wrote about released a song called Destroy 2,000 Years of Culture. They're not Christian or religious, whatever Brian you said, they're not spiritually inclined, so to speak, as far as the content of their music and general stuff, material they do. Now, if you were to revert that back to what is referencing that song, I mean, it applies to Christianity. The Christianity that you know now versus the Christianity that the New Testament spoke about. That destroying 2,000 years of culture applies greatly, just because, I mean, we've, exceeded, or we try to exceed ourselves in our limits and standards. We try and reach, and the fact that every day is a day of struggle and we fall short in the end, that's indication to me that the basis of our spirituality is merit based, and we've built a culture around this, about attaining holiness and righteousness, and saying the same saying of scripture saying faith without works is dead. Yes, that is all correct, but how far have we really gotten? As a church, faith is everything, of course, based on any belief system, and there is no way around that. The fact that the truth that is in scripture versus what Christianity is right now, we aspire for heights, aiming ambitiously to attain the knowledge of God, so to speak. These things take place and we see it as concrete gospel, but the truth is, yes, the Bible speaks of the truth, and the way the truth in the life is Jesus. But why aren't we getting anywhere? Like, why is someone being branded or has the title of a theological doctor can tell the church himself that he's been leading for the last 10-15 years, like in a morning service, and say, church, we have not gotten anywhere? And yes, I speak about lowering ourselves to the humility that Christ exemplified, but the church today, basically, there is no concrete basis based on a black and white decision of what is real, just because we are clouded by the inaccuracy and a false humility, and we anchor that as in, yes, we just want to aspire high, and recognize and it's the truth, so that the truth of God takes place in our life. And ministries nowadays in mega churches, that this is what they teach, yet having a form of holiness but denying its power. What has taken place in 21st century faith, as people of God, so to speak, we kind of like left it so it isn't really really biblical anymore, because of the gray areas that have expanded and have grown into confusion in the modern day church. So when you can't save your family, I mean, based on what you see daily, and you can really say, okay, they'll work it out, they'll come together and return back to the faith and get back into the word, and begin pursuing themselves as as God's own and as a group of believers. But if that's not happening in your household, and you go to church every weekend, and how do you expect things will basically unfold on a Sunday or morning or a Saturday night? How do you really justify your faith when you have a form of godliness but deny its power? So what has manifested in today's church today's current 21st century church model might be, it's fair question to ask yourself that this could be founded by the deception of the evils that has been and being used to shape today's modern day church. And what has taken place is basically a culture that has suffocated us because of the theology and doctrine of man based on knowledge and understanding and height, and even some depth that exemplifies the glory of what we think God is. But maybe God is telling us to say, okay, you've done your duty, your good works, but what do you do when all the spotlight is off you? So the way everything is, and you can't save your own life based on the ineffectiveness of the word, and you show up on a Sunday morning and put on your holy face and say, okay, I'm here because of that, and the Jesus that you're representing basically is so far away and farly nondescript and far-fetched from the life you live on a regular basis. I mean, the guessing game isn't going to stop when you're attaining for new heights, even if when you find depth that you can say, I'm going to go a bit deeper in the word. Yes, that's very advisable. The fellowship that we try and get together as a people group does not mix in just because of not differing beliefs. We all believe in the same thing, but because of how we have failed to the bare minimum of the littlest things. And that's when you have a problem, when you line yourself up with scripture and you base your foundations in your everyday life based on the deception and the lie.